At a very early age, I had an opportunity to meet this fantastic man, this individual, without seeking to meet him. It was meant to be, I feel. And as the luck was so good, I fell in love with him. In second meeting, I was very clear. I want to spend rest of my time in his fragrance. And this is where my journey with Bhagwan began. Bhagwan was a man, a beautiful man, and my God, so intelligent, so analytical, and everything that one would want in an individual, it was there. He was my encyclopedia also. He taught me about life. Though I was not seeking to understand or know life, I was simply a blind woman who was simply blind in love. And in this journey, there is so much I have learned. I can tell you at 75 years of age that I am running right now, life is an incredible gift, incredible present, and life is full of positivity. I don't find any offense being criticized because I feel positive. And to focus me on my positivity was this beautiful man, Bhagwan. He taught me how I can go inward, how I can take responsibility. He gave me an opportunity to create something very valuable. What we all need is to be free and full of responsibilities. He taught me how to take responsibility. I was given an opportunity to create a community for him without knowing what it means. But it was the love who cleared the path for me to move forward. And conviction of my love that did not give me a second thought. I went for it. What he offered, I took it in hand and tried to present it. It was, for me, an opportunity that I could not pass on. I must take it. And opportunity comes to all of us. But we think too much. We worry too much. And we don't have the courage to go forward. And this courage was a byproduct of the love that I felt for him. I don't know how much you all know about Bhagwan, who is now known as Osho, but I still prefer to call him Bhagwan because that's how my heart wants it. But no offense to any Bhagwans in the world. It is a beautiful name and I use it. I use it with love and grace. So, what I would like to ask, if you have any specific questions, I am ready to answer. I am here. I have an opportunity to firsthand answer you.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
So you told that you were convinced and you were in love with Bhagwan the day you first met him, from the day one onwards, the very first day onwards. So do you think of late, like after this, you did the right thing? You built the community for him?
Things done from love don't fail you. And there is no question of right or wrong. The duality doesn't exist at that point.
Namaskaram, ma'am. Are you doing any kind of sadhana now? And also, uh, Namaskaram, ma'am. Are you doing any kind of sadhana now? And what's your take on J. Krishnamurti?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question.
I'm asking if you are doing any spiritual practices now.
I didn't do it then either. And I don't do it now either.
Okay. What's your take on Mr. J. Krishnamurti, one of Bhagwan's favorite people?
Beautiful man, handsome guy, J. Krishnamurti. You know, I'm a female. I look at J. Krishnamurti differently than you young men look at him. But bit dry. For me, Bhagwan is more interesting.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, I hope I'm audible. Yes, ma'am. I had the opportunity to stumble upon the Netflix series that you are a part of, Wild Wild Country. So since then, I've been, religiously following your whereabouts and all. So, ma'am, what I wanted to ask is, you are still convinced that you were in love with Bhagwan, in a very holistic way. And when was that particular moment when you decided that you should, walk away, or, you should confront whatever that wasn't aligning to what your beliefs were? And how did you find the strength to do it?
I was in love with Bhagwan and I had been 14 years with him together. As his secretary, 6 years, 5 years. I had a direct ability to speak to him. And our contact was very direct and honest. There were no hidden aspect between two of us. It is When I was given a task to do, and I did not know how to go about it, I would simply ask him and say, "How do I do it, Bhagwan?" And he would guide me and I would carry it out. So there was a lot of love, lot of trust between two of us. And Bhagwan and his safety was utmost priority. And I think I have fulfilled all my criterions. Did I answer your question correct or missing a part of it?
No, it's just that I just wanted to know, how you were able to walk away from whatever you were doing right then. I mean, there was a part where you started getting detached from that, right? That turning point. I just wanted to hear how, you know.
I was a practical woman, and Bhagwan had a vision, a dreamer, and to implement that vision, that dream, you need someone practical. So he explained to me his vision, and I translated it in practicalities. And bear in mind that whole community of Bhagwan had pretty much similar feelings towards him as me. There were people who came because they wanted to meditate or they were interested in sexuality or whatever. But majority of us, majority of the community loved him. And they were there to support his dream.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Very glad to sit in front of you. And you have told us that you have launched like a leaf in the fragrance of Osho. Very glad to hear that. And at present, we are also feeling a similar feeling sitting in front of you. My question is Osho has said that he has contradicted himself in 1,000 ways. And we have been following those words and we have been contradicting to people our love, our fraternities, friends, all. And just before the beginning of the show, they have showed a clipping of actor Mohanlal. Have you noticed that, madam?
No, I don't
Okay,
understand
we'll
it.
give you a translation. I'll give you a translation later. Okay, he has said that he was flowing in love with Osho. So we have also reached almost half of that, and we are trying to flow accordingly. But all these flows, should we think that where it will take us to? So what these all flows will end up in or continue in? Thank you.
I'm sorry, I think the audio is so too loud for me to understand your
Can I
words.
tell you a last word? Is it okay now? Is it okay?
Maybe
Hello, can you hear me now?
I hear you this.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So I'll cut short and tell you. See, Osho has contradicted himself in 1,000 ways. That's what I read from his books and audio. Is it right?
Now I didn't understand.
Okay. Osho, in his books, has written that he has contradicted himself in 1,000 ways. So, we have been doing all those things or trying to practice meditation, Kundalini Yoga, all that. I had been to Osho commune in Pune also. So, we have been practicing in life like that. And I am 60 and I am a retired person. I have started this before 25 years and have been reading all the books, your books, all the audio tapes, ego, those things, ego, hatred, all that we have read. And now, our famous actor Mohanlal has made a clipping to you just at the beginning of the show saying what Osho was to him. He has one more line. He has said that he has started flowing like a leaf in a water or something like that. Even we are experiencing a micron or a half a portion of that. So, what will be our mission or ending up of life if we flow like this? Should it be an aimless flow, or we should do all these normal practices of day-to-day affairs, love, passion, hatred, all? Thank you.
Bhagwan has contradicted himself in many ways. Bhagwan has given his interpretation, his analysis of all doctrines that exist almost in the world. His analysis of his study is very profound. And he draws our attention to the contradiction of life. Life is full of contradictions. You have sun and moon, you have day and night, you have life and death. These are all contradictions. And he draws us again and again in different ways to analyze, understand, and accept, and not fall for the trap of the only stubborn way of going in one direction or the other. He opens up the onion in different ways. He opens up our minds and says, you need not taboo anything. Go through it, experience, enjoy, figure out what you require. And that is what we should be doing even today, because he talks to each individual in each book, each lecture that he has given. No one has spoken the way he speaks. And to answer, we all need advice of a wise one, and I have found my wise one, and that's Bhagwan.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello, hello.
So, how did your life and priorities change post leaving the Rajneesh movement? How did your life and priorities change post leaving Bhagwan or the Rajneesh movement? And one more connection question: how do you stay positive even after the public perception? It's all love and hate.
This is a very easy question. When I left Bhagwan, I left him not in anger. I left Bhagwan in an understanding of my love. My love had given me the strength to create his city together with his people. And that same love came to my rescue, which said, you cannot break your integrity. And it is time for you to leave. And I left. I had some tough times afterwards. I was a woman who was thrown in a trash can by everybody, the whole universe. Now I had to find a way to come out of that trash can, like a cat. And it was hard work. At the same time, I wanted to maintain my dignity and dignity of my parents and siblings who loved me and who were tortured by my bad moments at that time. So sometimes I had to pretend I was happy. And I tell you, happiness can become a bad habit. And I recommend to all of you to have that bad habit. When things are going tough, you have to enjoy the most. And that's how I lived.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening. Hello. I'm here. Am I audible? Yeah, I'm here. So good to see you, ma'am. I haven't read your books. I just watched the Netflix series, the entire series I watched. So the one question is regarding the end of the Rajneeshpuram started when you started sidelined and the other advisors took over him. So, what happened after that? Actually, that particular stage, I felt that Bhagwan has become an ordinary person, not the spiritual kind of a person. So he started getting all the advice from these foreigners and advisors, and he has simply become an ordinary person listening to all those advisors. So the confidence that you were have been immediately, suddenly ignored by him. So, was there a conflict between the spiritual person and the ordinary Bhagwan?
Bhagwan and spiritual persons, I put it in inverted commas, we are all ordinary people. This spirituality has become a fashion now. And I have nothing to do with this fashion. For me, how you live your life and how you are with your community decides how good your understanding of life is. By becoming spiritual, if the anger is skin deep, no use. Throw the spirituality in a garbage dump. It is so important. You can do exercise, you can do things thinking that it is spiritual, no issue. But if you are waiting for someone to establish that you are spiritual, then that is wrong. There you sell your soul. You don't need anybody's approval to become spiritual or to remain non spiritual as you are. And what is wrong in being not spiritual? Life is good. I wasn't spiritual when I was with Bhagwan, and I'm not spiritual today also. And I am still very happy. So I would say and recommend, don't run after spirituality. You will run, you will get tired, and your hands will be empty. Just be there for yourself and be there for your people and community and small way enjoy life.
Hello, ma'am. Glad to meet you. So my question is there a moment in your life that you cherish or treasure where you felt or where you had an epiphany of the kind that aligns to the philosophy which says we are the universe manifesting ourselves or experiencing ourselves? Is there one moment where you have actually felt it very deeply?
That was when I fell in love with Bhagwan, without a doubt. I think you also saw a photo of it where I had my head in his lap. That was the moment I felt if death comes right now, I am ready. And I was only 21-year-old and I was ready to die. It was not a doubt in my mind. Yes. And universe belongs to me. Universe belongs to all of us. We are just not using it. Use it. The more you use it, more aware you become of the universe. More you participate with your community, more you become aware of your convictions.
Hello, hello. Yeah. Hi, ma'am. Hi. My question is about enlightenment, the whole business, the whole circus of enlightenment. What is going on with all the gurus and all? Do you think Osho was just another one who ran the circus earlier?
Very good question. Bhagwan gave, Bhagwan exposed the whole circus. Bhagwan brought us out of this circus under the open sky. And as you say, hold this circus. This is a circus, and we all have to be intelligent about it.
Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, ma'am, I got a comment here as well as a couple of questions. So I'll start with the comment. So I had gone through a lot of books about Osho and his ex-followers as well as the current followers. And I've seen lots of videos as well, previous videos right from the 1980s. And what stands apart for me is that like um, like how you presented yourself in front of the world media, the international media, how you, with the grit and determination and bravado, how you challenge the like mighty states in the front of world media so nonchalantly. And it was kind of inspiring. That is actually something which we can't imagine even today. In this age when we are talking about women empowerment and emancipation, you did a lot of that at that time, right in the 80s. And it's kind of unbelievable and surreal for me in a kind of way. So I want to give a big salute there and a huge applause, ma'am, for that.
I fully agree with you. Bhagwan believed in individual freedom, and he taught individual freedom. And this freedom of tradition, freedom of religion, freedom from politics, freedom of wife, husband, and the family and parents. He wanted us to be free. He wanted us to exercise our birthright. And birthright is freedom. He wanted to create a harmony of different race, different religion, different countries, different people live in harmony. And he used the technique called meditation and gave people the greed for enlightenment. But don't fall for that greed. You don't need to be enlightened. You just need to enjoy life and dance a bit, sing a bit, and carry on your life with 100% of your being.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, a couple of questions, ma'am. So the first question is about like Bhagwan on rare occasions, I think once a month or so, there's a kind of communion that happens in the get together that happens in the ashram post dusk time, where all the lights are put off. Then there is some psychedelic music is being put on, and after that, Bhagwan uses his thumb to and presses it in the selected disciples' forehead, and an electric current passes through them, and they experience a kind of ecstasy. So, ma'am, can you comment on what exactly happened there?
It is a body block he releases. In Chinese medicine, they do also pressure point and release the body energy. Bhagwan has his method developed for release of this body block.
So, is it just pressing the thumb on the forehead, and that does the like kind of magic?
Yeah, it is a wonderful feeling. And that feeling, I have experienced it myself number of times in my life. And I have not deciphered the feeling because for me, just to be near him, just to be in fragrance, I need not question it.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah. Again, the second question would be like, ma'am, what do you feel about the new age gurus or godmen? Like, say, for Jaggi Vasudev, who is the hot thing today. So, what's your comment on him and
I
the
have
likes?
no comments because they are nothing for me. I don't seek them and I have no comment. I don't know them.
Hello, ma'am. Here, right side. Continue.
Yes,
Ma'am, I truly believe the ultimate act of love is letting go. And the bravest thing one can ever do is to truly love something and have the courage to let it go. And I just wanted to say that I'm so proud of you and I'm so happy that I got to meet such a kind and a beautiful person like you today.
Thank you very much. And you give the answer how one should love. Love is not with expectations. Love does not compromise. Love does not demand. Love is not a business that I give you this, you give me that. No. Love stands on its own feet. And you are lucky when you can do that. But it's possible. I have done it. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment.
Hi, ma'am. Here.
Yeah.
Yeah. After his expulsion from Oregon, he said, this is the second crucified after Christ.
This is?
Rajneesh said, or Osho said, this is the second crucifixion after Christ.
I didn't understand. Second?
No. After the expulsion from Oregon.
Right.
Rajneesh said, this is the second crucifixion
Second,
Crucifixion. Crucifixion of Christ. No. That crucifixion, you know.
I don't know what.
Crucified.
Second,
The first crucified was Christ. Christ's crucifixion.
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding.
Not
Can
understand.
somebody help me? I have a bit of problem understanding.
Sir, madam, that was Jesus Christ being punished in a cross. He was mentioning as crucifixion.
So, okay.
The pronunciation problem. You understand that now?
Yeah, now I
And then he said, this is the second one, second punishment, I think. The expulsion is the second punishment after Christ. And he wrote a book about this. I have read that. You also follow that opinion? He was correct?
Well, US government and population were not friendly, unfriendly, and they did not understand what we were doing there. But it was a Republican time. So you know what happens in Republican time even today after 40 years. They don't want different people in their land. They create laws against them or they just accuse them of nonsense and put them behind the bar. There was Korean Moon. This man was also locked up in prison. So one could interpret it as a crucifixion, if you want to call, because they disturbed the whole community there. And we had right to exist. We were legal residents of Rajneshpuram. And one can interpret it that this Bhagwan takes it as a second crucifixion. You can name it whatever you want to name it. It wasn't a right thing to be done. And many of you have seen Wild Wild Country. The way we were happy and working, people could not accept it. That how can somebody be so happy? And that is their shortcoming.
Could I ask you a question, Sheila? Could I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay, they may not have liked you. The Republicans could have been your enemies, but 75 people were poisoned by salmonella poisoning, and you were implicated and you went to jail for it. I mean, liking and disliking aside, let's come to the hard facts.
Okay.
Can we talk about it?
I can talk very much about it because people are stuck on this point of salmonella. They did investigation, found it was the restaurant had the salmonella. And this confidential report from CDC was put under the table. I took responsibility if they claimed that it was in my management, then I am responsible. I was an honorable and graceful manager. I said, okay, then I will take your punishment. And I did it. and did it gracefully. Now, this theme is null and void, and we should also erase it from our minds. It is 40 years now. And I get asked the same question no matter where I go. Anybody else?
Hi, dear. You said don't run behind spirituality and love yourself and love in your live in your life. And you yourself ran behind spirituality, and after a lot of search, you found that loving our own life and living on our own stance, that is that most spirituality. Just like that, all others have their own struggle to understand it, I think. Next is a question. Harmony and complete freedom, both from Osho. But these two things, they never meet for the same person at the same time, I think. Like, you controlled a lot of things there, and a lot of work was done behind the screens, and a lot of management was required, and then people get freedom. Always somebody has to take care of all the discipline, then some other people get freedom for some limited time. Isn't that sure?
No. First, I didn't run after spirituality. I did not go to Bhagwan looking for spirituality or meditation. I didn't even know what they are. I went to Bhagwan with my father to visit him, and I fell in love. So there is one question. When I was with Bhagwan, also, I did not participate in any of the meditation or the exercises for spirituality, nor did I look for enlightenment. Now, third question, behind the curtain. There are no curtains. There were no curtains. Our ranch was open from morning till night and night till morning. Journalists were occupying our hotel rooms because they found good story there. So these are doubts we create. There must be something wrong if it's functioning, because we are so used to non-function. We are so used to negativity that you see it with your own eyes, but you won't believe it. So I would request you, no need for such doubts. If there were curtains, they are washed now.
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon. So, ma'am, I've lived in Pondicherry for, I studied in Pondicherry for 5 years and I've seen the Oroville community. So, when you observe spiritual communities, you can see their functionings and their collective conscience being mostly alien to the outside society. And there is kind of a fine line between something which is morally wrong or morally right. So my question is, do you think it paves a way to development of anarchist mindset in people?
You can call it anarchist if you want to. It is your choice. And these differences or definitions we create for ourselves. I personally don't think I'm an anarchist, but if somebody finds me an anarchist, then it is so. We all must know our own limitations. And when you know your limitations, you don't cross the boundaries. It is as simple as that. You have to live with thousands of people on this earth. And you have to respect. You respect others and they respect you. You can easily live life of freedom. It's okay.
Hello, madam. How do you see it now that the 70s, 80s spiritual experimentation of Osho, the Osho model, how do you see it now? And one more question, uh, do we need in our society a spiritual model or for a spiritual life or for a spiritual clarity, such social experiments are needed?
Bhagwan's experiment was 100% successful. And I am an example of it. He wanted to create a community without prejudices. He wanted to create a community of harmony and respect. I do that in a small way now, after I have left prison. That is how I support me financially and I support my patient to have a good life. It is possible. We are thousands of millions of individuals on earth. We all have ability of a sort. Engage in this ability, develop those ability, and feel the small feeling of being there. You are there for them, they are there for you. And live life of respect. And life goes on. And Bhagwan's experiment was very successful. But if somebody has a new idea and they should try another experiment, definitely, by all means. Nothing is ultimate.